Girl, I told you she was made of strong stuff.
Did you really mean it when you said you'd help me?
Yeah. If that's what you want, I'll be with you every step of the way.
Of course he meant it, Sheridan. He's not gonna let up on you. If not for you, for himself, now that he thinks your past might have something to do with his family. Isn't that right, buddy boy?
Yeah, well, I won't deny that's part of it. It's a pretty strong coincidence that your bad dream started the night that my father vanished into thin air. Of course, it could mean nothing. I find it hard to believe that there isn't some connection there. This isn't all about me. Now, I'd want Sheridan to get to the bottom of her nightmares anyway.
Well, yeah, you're a nice guy. I know you'd hate to see anyone freak out over old emotional baggage, but you have to admit, you have a Mongo personal investment in this thing, too.
Well, yeah. I've always wondered what happened to my father. Why a man who supposedly loved us would just run out and never so much as look back without even checking to see if we were okay. I mean, there was no phone call, no postcard.
Well, just as long as you're prepared for what you might find out. I mean, you might find out that the reason your dad didn't contact your mom is because he couldn't.
I mean, because he was killed.
You can't rule anything out.
Look, I just want to find out the truth once and for all, whatever that may be. You know, the same way as Sheridan. You gotta put the questions of your past at rest so you can move on with the future.
Well, there's another school of thought behind that. It's called pushing on in spite of what's behind you. Sometimes you gotta sweep the bad stuff under the carpet so you can keep on keeping on.
Yeah, well, that may work for some people, but that doesn't cut it for me. I gotta clear the air. That's why I gotta do whatever it takes to find out what happened. I thought you were with me on this, Hank.
I am, buddy. You know, it's just now that your search is hooked up with Sheridan's nightmares, I'm wondering if you two know what you're getting into.
If you got something to say, say it.
Well, it's just this investigation has suddenly gotten pretty personal between the two of you. Are you sure you both can handle what you might find out? It's a valid question. I mean, what if you find out in all your digging around that Sheridan's nightmares and your dad's disappearance are somehow related?
Well, I can't speak for Luis, but I've given this a great deal of thought. Not knowing the cause of my nightmares is unbearable, much worse than anything I could discover about them.
Yeah, that's how I feel, too. Are you sure you want to take the trip down memory lane with me, though? Because, I mean, maybe Hank's right. Maybe the night my father disappeared and your nightmares are connected. And if that's true, you know, it could be awkward for us. You know, maybe I'm not the right person. We should be holding your hand through this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe we're making too big a deal out of this, you know? I mean, it's not like you guys are emotionally involved or still carrying a torch for one another, right? Hello?
No, of course not. That's the last thing we feel for each other.
It's a miracle we can even be in the same room without killing each other. But like I said, I'll still help you out with this thing if you're up for it.
Sure, whatever.
Well, it sounds like we have a plan. Where do we start?
I don't know, Luis.
Well, how about the night your nightmare started? The night my father disappeared. Anything you can remember about that night, I'd love to hear.
You want me to tell you what I remember about that night?
Every detail you can remember.
I'll try.
Oh, come on, let's sit down.
So sure, this'll help.
Well, go ahead. Give it your best shot. See what you can remember.
You were pretty young when your nightmares started, weren't you?
Yes. I also remember I was very frightened. You know, my mouth feels like it's full of cotton. Do you mind if I go get a glass of water?
No, of course not.
She's really shaky.
Yeah. Maybe now's not the best time for this.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I could use a break before we get into this heavy stuff.
Oh, I don't know.
No, you know what? Hank's right. This looks like it could turn into a pretty big deal and, take a lot out of us, so.
Well, I vote we go for a walk and fortify ourselves with some ice cream.
Well, it's up to Luis. I mean, he's so anxious to get to the bottom of this.
No, we got plenty of time for that. Besides, I'll bet you could use some fresh air, huh?
Like you wouldn't believe. You never let me go out.
No, don't worry about it. Look, even if those French drug thugs hired a new hitman, you're safe with me and Hank. What do you say?
I'd love to. Just give me a second.
All right.
Thanks for not pushing her too hard.
Why would I do that?
Because usually you're like a dog with a bone when you're hot on the trail for answers, man.
Look, Hank, this isn't just a case. I mean, Sheridan is obviously very fragile.
Yeah, well, I'm afraid she'll crack if you give her too much pressure.
Look, I know what I'm doing. I want to let her set her own pace, give her lots of room. It's very important to me to find out what happened to my father. Not if it means hurting Sheridan, okay? You really care about Sheridan, don't you?
You seem surprised. I've been in love with her since the first time I laid eyes on her. Think I still got a chance?
You know, you're asking the wrong guy. I've never understood women.
Well, that makes two of us, but Sheridan's not the only one I'm worried about here. If you go and spend all this time and effort into trying to put the pieces of this puzzle together about your father, you might come up empty where your father's concerned.
We'll just have to deal with it.
See, you say that like it's a piece of cake, but I don't buy it. All right? Because I can tell that you still have your hopes up. And there's a good chance that there's no connection at all between your father and Sheridan's nightmares.
Well, look, I'm telling you, if that's the case, I'll deal with it, okay? Hank, I'm fully prepared for whatever we find out. Just hope that, whatever we learn helps Sheridan get on with her life.
You're doing it again.
Doing what?
You're talking out of both sides of your mouth. One minute she's nothing but an acquaintance with a tie to your past, and the next minute you give yourself away. You still have feelings for her, don't you?
Well, I'm ready when you are.
Hey, and then what are we waiting for?
And she's still got a thing for you, too.
What a beautiful night.
You're not too cold, are you?
No, it's perfect.
So I get it right? These are your favorite, aren't they?
I can't believe you remembered.
Oh, gee, that's funny. I can.
Look out!